This week on Comic Relief After Hours, Jake petitions petitions and hate bashes every fandom that you can possibly think of. So DC fanboys, please keep your hands and feet in at all times, and the exit signs are on the right and left hand side. Seat belts, please. Turn off your cell phones because the light can be distracting and noises and whatnot. And this was filmed in front of a live studio, not a live studio audience. And
dude, you're so fucking up this intro. What is happening right
introductions
now?
Fucking are hard,
I
dude.
mean, Christ, dude, at first these people are thinking they're watching a sitcom, then the next thing they're on a roller coaster inside of an airplane with a movie playing. What the fuck?
Maybe they are. We don't know what the fuck they're doing. This is a podcast.
Actually, this podcast is about to be super exciting. So I'm actually, you know what? I'm
you
right
really
there
are
with
gonna
you.
hate bash?
Oh, dude, I'm going off on people. Guys, what is going on? Welcome to Comic Relief After Hours. You guys know the drill. We're here after hours at Comic Relief, the comic shop here in Richmond, Indiana.
Dicks are out and everything.
Well, just one. Only one of us really has a dick, let's be honest.
I just have a hole where a dick used to be. It's now inversed.
I thought it was just this like flap of skin. That
Flap of skin?
kind of hung there, could never get erect.
Yeah.
That wasn't a sound effect either, because I did not insert that. But no, guys, thanks for joining us today. Today we've got a lot of things we want to talk about. A lot of things have been happening in the world around us in the comic book fandom world, and the first thing I wanted to talk about was not the petitions thing. That's second. I'm ready to hate bash on that shit. But first thing I wanted to talk about was just toxic fandom in general. Okay, now we see this everywhere, right? Everywhere. Can we agree on this?
I mean, I didn't like the song when it first came out, but Britney Spears has came back.
Okay. Toxic fandom, as in fan bases for certain things.
Oh, okay.
Being toxic and vitriolic and just mindless morons.
See, I just don't understand because fans really keep me cool when it's hot on a summer day.
Oh my fucking Christ. Okay. All right, so latest thing that has happened is, of course, Joss Whedon has exited Batgirl, right? I mean, we all have heard about this at this point. I know
I'd rather enter Batgirl.
Okay, enough with the puns. Jesus Christ. I can
done.
make you a
Done.
villain for Batman. Call you Pun Man. You'd probably be more useful than Condiment King.
Our Kite Man.
Yeah.
Our Crazy Quilts.
Fuck Kite Man.
Our a lot of villains.
Yeah. Anyways, so of course we all heard now about Joss Whedon has exited Batgirl, and he did it in his very Joss Whedon way, saying, for months I just couldn't come up with a story, and is there a sexier way to say that I failed, basically, right? Now, I don't believe this bullshit story, 1 ounce. But the thing that, if we want to talk about it real quick, I don't think it's any secret that I think that Joss Whedon was brought on to finish Justice League, and there's never intention on him making a Batgirl movie, which is, surprise, surprise, now Warner Brothers has come out and said that the Batgirl project is indefinitely on hiatus, right? And it's not, I don't think it's because they can't find a writer or a director. It's just they don't have any intention to do Batgirl. And this is all an elaborate cover story to bring in Joss Whedon to replace Zack Snyder when they knew they were going to fire Zack Snyder. Right? And then, of course, the tragedy befalls Snyder. And it's a nice, convenient cover story for him to exit the project without having to, where WB basically allows him to save face and not say publicly, oh, he's fired. Then, of course, we can kind of go the timeline of events later. But anyways, the whole idea is for toxic fandoms. Now, Joss Whedon is just the latest one under fire. Now, all people hate Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon is the number one target. He's number one wanted on the fucking comic book FBI top wanted list. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, Jesus Christ. Back when the first Avengers movie came out, Joss Whedon could do no wrong. Every person and their dog would suck his dick. Right, because Avengers was just so amazing.
I would have done it back with Dr. Horrible sing-along blog.
Or that too.
I mean, it's a great.
Yeah, but
it's fun.
Okay, all right. I want to try and keep on track. But
you can't do that with me, man.
I would like to engage you in this conversation.
My job is to
your job is to
talk
talk to me about this right now.
Oh, that's what you want me to do?
Yes, I don't want to have a conversation.
This is like 15 episodes down the road, and I'm just been. Man,
I want to have.
I'm surprised you didn't fire me.
I don't want to have a conversation
me
with myself. Okay, what I want is a good, healthy back and forth here.
Okay, we can do healthy back and forth.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So, what do you take on this? That Joss Whedon is now public enemy number one as far as comic book fandom goes. I mean, think about it. Avengers comes out, this guy is just, praised as the second coming of Christ, basically, amongst our ilk. Then Avengers 2 comes out, we hear there's a little strife between him and the studio. He gracefully exits from Marvel Studios, no bad blood from what we can see or hear about anyway. He just was tired, stressed, worn out, understandably so. Big undertaking to do 2 Avengers films. And oversee all of Phase 2. He did that as well. And then he's reportedly brought in to do Batgirl, but then something goes wrong and now he does Justice League. Now Justice League comes out and everybody hates it. Everybody hates Justice League. Even the people who claim to love it still blame somehow. Even the people who are defenders of the Justice League movie bash Joss Whedon. First off, I want them to make up their fucking mind. Did you like it or not? Did you like it? Because if you liked it, don't bash Joss Whedon. That is a mouthful. And then
Joss Whedon is a mouthful.
I'm sure some of his mistresses can
Dr.
attest.
Horrible sing-along blog, man. I really dug it.
I never saw it. But, you got me off track again. You son of a bitch. You motherfucker.
That's my job.
Oh, we're about to re-record this whole thing.
Man, that's long. I don't want to do another intro.
We're 6.5 minutes in. We
That
better
intro
get
was
back
golden.
on track. Okay, so, anyways, I want Justice League fans to make up their mind. If you like Justice League, shut the fuck up about Joss Whedon. If you didn't like it, and stop advocating for a Snyder cut, because even though you liked the movie, you thought it could have been better, then just admit the movie wasn't as good as you say it is. But, anyways, Joss Whedon now, everybody is in the comments sections online. Get Joss Whedon out there. We never wanted him in the first place. He's fucking horrible. Blah, blah, blah. When the fuck did the fan base collectively decide to turn on Joss Whedon and be like, this guy's a fucking hack?
When it was easy to point fingers. That's what it comes down to. It's just like, Justice League was not that good of a movie.
It's a horrible movie.
It was a horrible movie.
But can you blame Joss Whedon? Do you blame Joss Whedon for this?
I don't blame Joss Whedon. The DCEU has not made a good movie except for Wonder Woman, and even that is just like standable. It's what it is DC fanboys will do whatever they can to defend something. And they thought that this was going to be everybody. Me and you, when we first, very beginning, when we first saw that very first trailer, there was like some hope. Like, might be a good movie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I never thought that, honestly. Don't put that out on the internet. I never thought Justice League would be a good movie.
But, it gave like this was going to be the thing that's going to turn everything around. And you know what? It backfired. It fucking blew up in their fucking faces. And the only thing that they can pinpoint is like that's different than anything else is they go, well, it's Joss Whedon's fault. Because you can actually look and see, sometimes they say that you can see when it was his cut compared to when it was Snyder's cut.
Which you can. You can see the differences between two directorial styles. That's fine. Okay, but you can't blame the failure of Justice League on Joss Whedon. No. Let's backtrack here real quickly. Look at the timeline of things. Okay, Man of Steel comes out same year that Iron Man 3 hits over $1 billion as a solo franchise installment, right? A couple months later, or a month or two later, you get Man of Steel. Now, reports said that Warner Brothers and DC were hoping and expecting this to be $1 billion movie the way Iron Man 3 was, right? It's met with middling success. It's met with middling critic reception. And Warner Brothers decides to freak out. The next movie they're going to put out is Batman v Superman, because they just got off the tails of the Batman franchise, and they're like, well, Batman sold really well for us. Let's put him in the next movie. No longer Man of Steel 2, it's Batman v Superman. This movie is met with even less critical positive reception and doesn't make $1 billion again.
And was a complete Snyder cut, no other director.
Oh, yeah.
And that movie fucking sucked, too.
Oh, but I'm waiting for the DC fanboys to jump down in the comments, but the extended cut is even...
The extended cut was so much better.
It was even more insufferable because it was just longer and more drawn out and boring. Okay, so that happens. Doesn't make $1 billion. Gets like a 27% or some shit on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics fucking panned it. There's a small sect of very loud people who defend this shit online. Okay, then let's go over to Suicide Squad. Next one that comes out gets like another 26%. Doesn't hit $1 billion. Zack Snyder is a direct fucking producer. His handprints are on this movie. Again, not the success they were hoping for. Then Wonder Woman comes out. Snyder has nothing to do with this movie. For all intents and purposes, this guy is nowhere near this film. And then the last 3 movies we talked about, well, at least the last 2 we talked about, all these rumors circling behind the scenes drama and shit going wrong. And I mean, Batman v Superman was delayed an entire fucking year. Suicide Squad, of course, the whole trailer house editing thing, they reshot all this shit.
They reshot and edited that movie to the point where it's some freaking mess.
It's just a Frankenstein of a movie, which, it's been said a million times. Then Wonder Woman comes out. 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It hits like 880 million worldwide or something. Maybe not that much, but like 830, I think, right?
But it was an actual decent movie.
It was a competent film. Okay, it was competent. It did fine. It was a fine movie. Then Justice League comes out, and this is a movie that what reports are saying that right after Batman v Superman, the executives at Warner Brothers were talking about firing Zack Snyder, but they thought it'd take too long to get Justice League out; it'd be too expensive to replace him now, so they went right ahead with shooting 2 weeks after Batman v Superman was released in theaters. So Snyder goes on to do this, and then they want to fire him. But cover story is that his daughter tragically commits suicide, and you can't pin any of that on anybody. That's just an unfortunate circumstance, and it's tragic. But they decide to kind of nebulously cloud over the real story and use the tragedy as the graceful way to exit Snyder out. And then that same month that his daughter committed suicide is the month that they announced Joss Whedon's Batgirl. He's going to do Batgirl. Same month that his daughter committed suicide. Okay. Then, we've already got Joss Whedon in our bullpen. So let's put him on Justice League and have him finish Snyder's cut. With one, they're not going to push back the release date. They're not going to increase the budget by too much. So work with what you've got and fill in the gaps. And the reports that they wanted to make sure it stayed on release date, so all the executives got their bonuses, right? How the fuck are you saying this is Joss Whedon's failure? How is this Joss Whedon's fault? I don't, and then you can go ahead and point to some of the unscrupulous activities of his wife coming out saying he cheated on her. But that's not really well known public knowledge. I mean, not even I was really aware of all this shit. But no, it's Joss Whedon's fault. Joss Whedon, get him away from everything. Get him away. In this, and then of course it's Wonder Woman was directed by a female. You should let a female. Why? Just if the guy's got a story, if he's got an eye and all this shit. I mean, he did Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He did Angel. He did Firefly, Serenity. He fucking wrote Roseanne back in the day. This guy who did Avengers, and Dollhouse and all this other shit that have like very strong female-centric characters. And you're gonna tell me that you don't want him on Batgirl because of Justice League? Where's the critical thinking here? Where are people getting their fucking logic?
2 things. One, trying to say that Joss Whedon is the reason why Justice League was a bad movie and hating on him for that is like hating on a substitute teacher because a kid failed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the
That's
substitute teacher was just there
just
to make sure that you did the fucking work and you got out of school on time. Like he didn't.
Exactly.
He really didn't do a whole lot.
Here's this bad track record of Zack Snyder produced material, and nothing has gone right. And then Joss Whedon comes in, and he's the problem that Justice League was wrong, and he is now public enemy number 1. Get him away from all properties. Correlation is not causation. Okay, let's use our brains here for a minute and look at everything that's led up to Justice League and look at all the fucking problems that Joss Whedon was nowhere near any of this for the past 5, 6 years. Now he comes in and now he's the fucking problem. And now we're gonna hate on him. Now we hate Joss Whedon, the guy who brought us the first Avengers, which is arguably one of the best comic book movies of all fucking time. And even if Avengers 2 didn't live up to the first one, which let's be honest, it was never going to. You're never going to recreate the success of the Avengers. It was lightning in a bottle. Okay? Even if you don't like Avengers 2, you cannot tell me that was a bad movie.
No, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
It was still a good movie.
It just wasn't as good as the first.
Yeah.
How often do we see the trend of the sequel not living up to the first one? All the fucking time.
Unless James Cameron does it.
Sure, why not?
Dude's a king of sequels.
Yeah, well, let's wait till Avatar 2 comes out in 30 years, but...
True.
Joss Whedon is not the fucking problem here. So stop blaming this on fucking Joss Whedon. And he's not public enemy number one. Jesus Christ, this guy's been under fire from the fucking fan base who 6 years ago were propping him up on their shoulders like he was the savior. You know, he was the guy that could do no wrong. And now he's just fallen from grace because fans are so fucking stupid. And I'm just sick of this shit because it happened in the Star Wars community too, right? People wanted to bitch about J.J. Abrams, how he's a hack, how he can't do anything original, right? And then, so The Force Awakens, it was just a remake of A New Hope. And then The Last Jedi comes out, and then everyone fucking hates Rian Johnson, and now they love J.J. Abrams again. Will you people make up your fucking mind? I need to know definitively, moving forward, who I need to hate, who I need to like. Can we stop backtracking and fucking flip-flopping over your fucking mood swings? Jesus Christ. I'm so sick of it.
And the hate bashing starts. Nah.
Well, some of the DC fans, I'm sorry, DC fans and Star Wars fans are the worst.
They're
mean, some of the worst fandoms I've ever seen. They're
really
so
are.
Fucking toxic.
They're fickle, and they will stand behind the worst shit.
And the weird thing is that Snyder, who really is the problem, and I'm not saying he's a bad director or he's a bad filmmaker,
but his Watchmen.
His style does not jive well with these DC characters. It just doesn't. It's why the mass audiences have not received these movies well. So it's just his style coupled with Batman and Superman, like they just don't mesh well. But yet they are so staunchly defending him and so staunchly behind him that no matter what he fucking puts out or does, it's not his fault. I don't fucking understand it.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm bummed about Joss Whedon not doing Batgirl though, because in my personal opinion, I'm thinking like I think the only person that could really direct a Batgirl movie that I'd be really into would be Joss Whedon. You just watch like Buffy and all that shit, and I'm just thinking like a Batgirl movie like that.
And let's address this right now for anybody who might be listening, ready to type away or even text me later, which is, oh my God, he would suck. Did you ever read that Wonder Woman script that leaked online? Yeah, I did, from 2006. Guys, this is pre comic book renaissance in the movie industry, guys. Yeah. Like this is before Rise of the Silver Surfer came out. That script was before Spider-Man 3. Yeah, obviously, if he was going to go and do something like that now, it would be for this time.
That plus also, let's face it, Wonder Woman and Batgirl are two very different things. And Joss Whedon, you tell me Joss Whedon writing a script for a god, a goddess, I don't see it. I don't think it's a good mix.
Right.
But him writing a script on
for
Barbara Gordon, a superhero that's running around solving crimes in a purple outfit and I can see that.
Not fucking Batman, by the way.
And put her in her early 20s. I can see him doing that. Why? Because he does that.
Yeah.
That is his sweet spot.
Who are the people that audiences most love in things like Buffy or Firefly? River, what's her face from Firefly? Buffy herself or her fucking sister?
20-something-year-old girls who are trying to juggle life and extracurriculars and supernatural type stuff that most people will never have to deal with.
Yeah.
And I say most people because Jake likes to hunt vampires on his spare time.
I do. I've got 2 of them hanging by their neck right now in the shop. You guys can come on down tomorrow and check it out. But no, it's just like, come on. You're going to tell me Joss Whedon, the guy who, before apparently his wife came out and said he was not faithful, before that, everyone was like for Joss Whedon. Then Justice League comes out right around the time these reports come out. Now he's just, fuck this guy. Let's nail him to the cross and set him on fire. That's basically what the fandom's at now. But you're going to tell me that a guy who has his filmography for 8 months could not come up with a Batgirl story? No. Truth is, Batgirl was never actually slated. It was never actually going to happen. It was just a cover story. And I don't want a Batgirl movie without a definitive Batman. And you want to know who's holding up the Batgirl movie more than anything then? Ben Affleck deciding whether or not he's going to fucking stay as Batman.
Yeah. There's other things that DC needs to be worried about before doing a Batgirl movie.
Oh, absolutely.
To be honest,
I mean,
there's other. I mean, you need to get all your shit together first, and you also got to figure out what you're gonna do with your fucking Batman. Like,
I mean, come on.
You can't do a Batgirl movie. It's like doing a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
Batman is literally the spine of your entire universe. If you can't get him right, how the fuck am I supposed to believe that you're gonna get Batgirl right? Come on, she's not a main character. She's a sidekick. Yeah, okay, now in the comics, she's got her own run, and she's not a sidekick anymore, but she's still called Batgirl. What do you want? You establish a Batman. Establish a Batman that's going to stick around. DC, you're the ones fucking up. This is not Joss Whedon's fucking problem. This is Warner Brothers executives' problems. And then everyone's like, oh, look, they got rid of Joss Whedon after they brought on this new head. They've brought on like 2 new heads of whatever the fuck that it is in the past 3 months. I don't know what the fuck to believe. I don't know who's calling shots. I don't know who's doing what. I can just tell you right now, definitively, Joss Whedon's not the fucking problem. The fans are the fucking problem. We are a huge part of the problem.
Warner Brothers is a massive problem too.
They are,
and you want to know why?
The fans are worse, dude. The fans are even worse.
That's because they keep throwing money. Warner Brothers doesn't give a shit about fixing this shit because fans will still go out there and spend their money.
Yeah,
on this
let's be honest, guys. If Justice League had made over $1 billion, there would be no problem. Joss Whedon wouldn't have gone anywhere, and you guys would be sucking his dick. Still.
Yeah.
You'd still be sucking his dick if that movie made over $1 billion. But because your beloved Justice League movie sucked, and now everyone's in a fucking frenzy over what to do next, it's Joss Whedon. He's the bad guy. No, he's what the fan base has taken to be the poster child as a problem.
He's an innocent bystander. He just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, and I'm glad he's out of there, dude.
I am too. He doesn't need to be.
And I love some of these people who are going, oh yeah, well fucking Joss Whedon was just a mole from Marvel. He went in there, Hail Hydra. You know, fuck off. You guys are so stupid. Anyone who truly believes that he went in there
He's a mole from Marvel.
Yeah, if he went in there, anyone believes he went in there to purposely sabotage Justice League to help Marvel out, you guys are out of your goddamn mind.
Marvel doesn't need help.
No.
They're doing fine. Name one really bad Marvel movie. One that you just absolutely cannot stand to watch.
Elektra.
I'm talking about the Marvel
Exactly.
Studios.
You can't name one. They're all at least watchable.
Yeah. The only one I would have a hard time with is like Thor Dark World.
Guardians 2 for me. I'm never going to watch it again.
Guardians 2. I can still watch Guardians 2.
I can't do it.
Even though it has no
I
purpose.
watched it once, but I just don't feel the need to ever watch it again.
It has no purpose in the Marvel universe. It has no purpose at all.
Completely disposable film.
Man,
but
massive disappointment.
Anyways, so guys, if anyone's listening to this, please don't jump on this hate bandwagon after Joss Whedon. And I'm not even a Joss Whedon defender, but I feel the need to defend him because he's only the latest person that everyone's fucking gone turncoat on. It will be someone again in the future, and we're all people that we like the Russo brothers, right? Russo brothers, everyone loves the Russo brothers. Winter Soldier was great, Civil War was great. If Avengers 3 comes out and doesn't outperform Black Panther, Russos are under fire from the fan base. You know they will be. Yeah. They will be. And it's bullshit. But hey, guys, Black Panther in less than 3 weeks has already made more than Justice League did in 13. So, Marvel can't really do no wrong right now with the critics and with the audiences.
Are you just saying this because this was your first round draft pick?
Yeah, update, guys, on my fantasy film draft.
I like how you nedged in there to sit there and brag about yourself, you little fucker.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, you can go to like the last 2 videos back where we did a fantasy film draft. Black Panther was my number 1 pick, and I'm not mad about it. And if you want to know what we thought about Black Panther, you can go to the video that was posted just before this one.
Yeah. I actually watched it a second time.
I did too. I was very proud of it.
Yeah, after I watched it a second time, my hopes wasn't so high up. I think that, I mean, I'm still going to probably sit. I'm probably.
Oh, I thought you meant our review. I watched our review.
Oh, no, I was talking about the movie.
Okay.
I gave the review on James Eversole Jr. movie podcast.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. If you watch part 1 of it, I say that I give it a rating about 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I probably would bump it back up. I'd probably bump it up close, 7.5, maybe 8.
Okay, I need to see it a second time again, but I gave it an 8.5, and I do feel like I was being generous with that, but I also couldn't talk badly about my number 1 draft pick too much, So
yeah, you
I had
little fucker.
Had to be nice, like a lot of those critics probably are.
Had to be nice like you did when someone shoved a dick up your ass.
I was very angry about that. I wasn't nice. I used teeth.
You teeth.
Yeah.
And that's your boyfriend told me he loved that.
Oh, well, Jason. All right. So anyway,
you guys would make a very cute couple. Sorry, Lexi.
I don't even know who Jason. I wasn't talking about a specific Jason. I read Go-Go Power Rangers earlier, so
that's the Jason I was thinking about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's okay. I mean, Billy.
You guys love our transitions between topics because this is it.
Yeah, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
Gay jokes.
Watch this smooth segue. And speaking of toxic fandoms doing dumb shit, let's talk about this latest petition that's up. I don't know if you heard about this, Josh, which I know you did because I informed you right before the podcast.
Yes, I didn't even know.
But before this...
Inform me more.
Okay.
Inform me about this new thing you haven't told me
So
already.
the latest fan petition making its circling, I guess, on the interwebs is that fans are now petitioning for a Netflix Black Panther Wakanda-centric TV series. They have signatures, and it's making its rounds, getting the signatures in hopes to get a Netflix Wakanda series on that's the latest fan petition. So let's talk a little bit about fan petitions first of all. All
right.
The last few.
Hey, can you do me a favor before you start? Can you actually breathe? Because all this hate.
I feel like I'm turning red a little bit.
You're just like, this is your way of venting.
It is. This podcast has become very therapeutic, says my therapist.
Yeah.
They're like, you come to me. He's like, you come to me. You really don't have anything to say, but I've been listening to your podcast. They're very angry.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can stop paying me and just freely use the internet.
Yeah, just freely use the internet and get a microphone. There you go.
And rape the ears of the young who don't need to be listening to it. So, but anyway, let's backtrack a little bit. Think about some of the more recent petitions of the past. So one that comes up is there was the fan petition, which I know this had to have been a joke, but there's a fan petition to create an actual Death Star. Don't know if you knew about that. Yeah, that thing got a staggering amount of
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I know the people in this world.
Yeah, to create a Death Star. Okay, so that worked out well, obviously, as you've seen the latest construction in the sky.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I saw it. I saw the Death Star.
Yeah.
They're really getting it.
Yeah.
I hope some little fucker doesn't come in and start blowing that shit up.
I know, man.
Then we'll have to build a new one.
I know.
All those poor stormtroopers inside there and construction workers that just fucking died.
They're just doing their job.
They're just doing their job.
Okay, what were some of the other ones?
They know the risk.
What were the other fan petitions that we saw? The DC petition, or the DC fan petition to shut down Rotten Tomatoes. Because Rotten Tomatoes always gives DC movies bad reviews.
It's like writing a petition for your mom.
The best
so
part,
they can get rid of your sister because she keeps pulling your hair and stealing all the carrots.
Yeah, the best part of this was in that petition. They listed the movies, all the quote unquote all the DC movies get bad reviews, and they listed it: Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad. That was their list. And then they made a petition to shut down Rotten Tomatoes.
Two movies bad reviews.
Yeah, as you can see.
Fuck you guys! It's the goddamn internet.
As you can see, with Rotten Tomatoes no longer existing, that worked really well.
I mean, if you can waste my fucking time with your pointless bullshit and like whining about how people are complaining about your fucking movie, then like fuck you.
Yeah. Let's go on with other petitions that have recently come out. The Release the Snyder Cut of Justice League petition that has obviously gained just masses behind it, because I don't know if you saw that picture that was released when they went outside WB with their banner saying Release the Snyder Cut. Did you see how many people were out there?
No.
Surprisingly, dude, 12 people showed up to support this.
They're fighting a good cause.
I mean, them and the women's march. I don't know.
You motherfuckers are so fucking stupid. We got motherfuckers going into fucking schools and shooting up fucking kids, and you guys are sitting here whining because you want a fucking Snyder Cut. I'll give you a Snyder Cut, okay? It's called being raped in the fucking asshole because just get used to it. The fucking movie sucked.
Yeah. So that Snyder. The Snyder Cut. I mean, if you look at the picture, it had just about as many people show up as Trump's inaugurational speech and the Women's March. So it's got a lot of support.
Oh yeah, tons.
No, actually, the Women's Support actually had a lot of people. Our Women's March had a lot of people. That was just a joke for any feminists out there.
Jake just jokes.
Yeah, and then the last one that I can remember preceding this one is to delay the release of Star Wars Episode 9 reshoot a whole new episode 8 and remove The Last Jedi from canon, from the Star Wars canon. That was the last petition.
Because we have all the fucking money in the world.
Yeah, so
to just sit there and just do
fans
stuff like that.
fans are asking Disney and Lucasfilm to make a new episode 8. Basically delete The Last Jedi from the history books and postpone the release of episode 9 so we get an episode 8 that they like.
You know what? You want to sign my petition?
Yeah, what is it?
My petition is to have internet cut off from anybody who actually tries to fucking start or sign a fucking stupid ass petition.
You want to sign my petition to end all petitions?
You know what? I will sign.
Okay.
And
cool.
while I'm at it, can you sign this petition?
I'm going to sign your petition. You sign my petition.
Okay, here, sign this petition.
Okay.
This is a different one.
Okay. This one is very explicit in the sex acts you want me to perform. I'm not signing this.
Just sign it.
No. Anyway, so as we've seen historically, the comic book community is very trigger happy when it comes to petitions, and they're also not very good at getting things done. But what they are good at is also looking like a bunch of whiny little spoiled brats.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so this next one, obviously, there's not as much negative connotation to it, but essentially it's the same thing. You're a bunch of whiny, spoiled little brats who, I want this and I want it now. I'm going to start a petition, so you have to give it to me. Although I don't know why you have not seen that these petitions don't accomplish anything. It's like joining a fucking protest, okay? It doesn't accomplish anything. Again, another fucking joke. But, yeah, if you want to make a lot of noise and get nothing done, go join a protest. Again, a joke. But why the fuck are we still... These things are pointless. They're fucking useless. Why is this going on? Why is this happening? Why are we so entitled and just demand that our wants be catered to? Look, the way you get good, entertaining art is not by demanding it, okay? No. It's by being surprised by the consumption and the substance inside of it. It's not demanding this and then it meet my fucking needs. Because guess what were to happen? If by, I mean, just a 1 in a zillion chance, Marvel was just like, you know what? They made a petition. Maybe we should put out this Wakanda Netflix.
Is that how?
I just imagine
they all sound like they're from the Goodfellas.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Hey Tommy, hey, listen here. Hey, you know what? These whiny ass bitches on the internet, they want to see a fucking Netflix show about further some more Black Panther.
We got ourselves a bunch of wise guys.
It's not a bad idea, but you know what? Guys. We're gonna give these motherfuckers what they want because we ain't got more important things to worry about.
Anyways, so if Netflix and Marvel were to join up and go, you know what? We've got a lot of fans supporting this. Let's do a Netflix Black Panther Wakanda centric 8-10 episode series. You know what would happen? Everybody who signed that petition, 1, they aren't going to go out and watch it the very first night, even if they signed the petition. 2, they're going to bitch about it because it's not going to be what they built up in their heads thinking it was going to be.
It doesn't meet my standards.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I wanted something more like Ezra Miller's Flash.
I wanted something where, I
really want to see the lesbian relationship between Ayo and the other girl that we never saw. Like the bald chick with the Dora Milaje. Like, she's a lesbian, and I really wanted to see that.
You want to see more of that?
Yeah, like a soap opera in Wakanda. That's what I imagine.
Oh my God, Jake, you're starting to sound a little misogynistic. You just want to see lesbians make out.
So this is what I signed the petition for. I can think whatever I fucking want.
Oh, you know what? We look so good right now. We look so good right now.
But anyway, it's just like, can we just fucking stop? Like, when did it become okay to lose all sense of credibility, intelligence, and just I mean, I don't even have the fucking words for this.
I don't know. And seeing it's weird because we're saying this right now, and it's not like you listen to our last podcast. We loved the Black Panther in the sense of the message.
Yeah,
that movie is something that should stand the I don't even know what words I'm trying to say because I'm so
Look,
staggered.
it should be a movie that people see, take the message away from it, and apply it in their lives. Like that's make a difference and let this movie
making a TV series. I think it'd be kind of good to have a TV series that maybe explores Wakanda a little bit more. I think that would be interesting, but at the same time, you're just milking it. You're milking this, and I mean, there's other things that could be happening.
Look at what happens when you overpopulate the market with this kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just ratings are gonna fall. You're gonna invest all this fucking money.
Batman.
Yeah. But it's just like you invest all this fucking money, and nobody really wanted this other than a really small select few people.
You got to know when sometimes less is more.
Or sometimes just know what battle is worth fighting for.
Or sometimes, sometimes. Quit trying to make your life more eventful by trying to find things to complain about on the internet, and try to actually go out and do something.
Yeah, maybe take away the message from the fucking movie Black Panther.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ, I can't stand this stupidity. I mean, that's the thing.
It's not stupidity.
It is stupidity.
No, it's stupidity, but it's not just stupidity. It's the fact that these people they're bored with their fucking lives because nothing is ever going to be enough, and they think that everything has to be 100%.
They demand to be catered to, and I don't understand where this fucking entitlement is coming from.
Fucking millennials.
Here's the thing: the toxic fandom and this rampant stupidity go hand in hand.
Yeah,
you really don't have one without the fucking other. Mm-hmm. So if we can just get rid of all of it, just stop being fucking stupid, okay? Accept whatever you get. Either say you like it or you don't like it. Don't start demanding shit from these studios because they don't owe you a fucking thing. No. They're a business. Okay.
And here's the other thing too.
You're gonna start a petition to Apple to start making you a fucking smart car that's gonna drive your ass, and you can read your goddamn comics or smoke your goddamn pot or whatever on the fucking way to work.
I need to make a petition for that.
Yeah, you should start a petition for this, dude. Make sure Apple fucking pays for it all too. Yeah. And then when it actually comes out, don't go and buy it because you don't have the fucking money for it.
If you want it, go make it your fucking self.
Here's
the other thing too. Is why sit here and have a petition? When you do a petition, you're pretty much trying to force someone to do something.
Yeah.
And you're trying to force Marvel Studios.
I'm going to start a petition that Jennifer Aniston has to marry me. Has to happen if I get enough signatures, right?
Lexi, I'm not signing that petition.
Lexi will sign only because she's so fucking rich, and I'll just leave Aniston and go back to Lexi.
You divorce Aniston?
If I got millions of dollars.
That girl does not need you ruining her life any more than when it's already been ruined.
All right.
Okay, but the thing is like at that point you're trying to force Marvel Studios into making something, and one thing that we have learned right now is like you don't just let Marvel do what it does. Marvel Studios, let them do what they want to do. They are
very successful.
Very successful. They don't need your fucking input.
And they don't need to bend to your fucking whims.
Yeah. They know what the fuck they're doing. And guess what? If you just sit down, calm down, keep your fucking mouth shut, keep your hand off the goddamn keyboard and watch the fucking thing, you're going to be fucking happy because they haven't put out anything bad.
No. I mean, just...
the worst thing I can think of is Iron Fist.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty fucking bad. But that's also not Marvel Studios, you know what I mean?
No, that's not Marvel Studios, but still, like...
Yeah, it's just gotten to a point where this bubble's gonna fucking pop because of toxic fandom. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People are just gonna be done with this shit. I wouldn't be surprised if Star Wars honestly took a break if Episode 9 just isn't what the fucking fans wanted. You know, I wouldn't even blame Lucasfilm if they were like, look, we're gonna pump the brakes on Star Wars. We're tired of this shit.
Yeah, I would not do it.
I'm honestly surprised DC is willing to endure. Like, they are a glutton for punishment. I'll give it to them, man, because they don't seem to give a flying fuck about the quality of these movies.
You know what? There's a rumor. I don't know if you ever heard this. This was like years back when Suicide Squad was coming out.
2 years ago?
Yeah. Okay. There's a writer. What's his name? Brent Ellis or whatever. He wrote American Psycho.
Okay.
The movie's based off of his novel.
Okay, so he wrote the novel. Okay.
Yes. I don't know why, but he said that he was eating lunch one time with some head honchos at Warner Brothers, and they were talking about, I think they were talking about Justice League or something, but they were talking about something, and he said that one of the guys said, it doesn't matter if the movie's bad, the fans will still go, if it has Batman in it, the fans will still go out there and buy tickets. That's all they care about, man.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit because they know that you motherfuckers are dumb enough to keep buying the goddamn tickets. They know that you guys, you know why they put out the bad theatrical releases? Because they know that your dumbasses will buy the theatrical release when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, and then you'll go buy the extended director cut because you're fucking stupid.
I know. I mean, let's stop settling for mediocrity, and that's the weird juxtaposition here. You got this DC fandom that's willing to settle for less than mediocre, but then demand shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what the fuck? Pick your poison here. I don't know. Anyway, and you know what's funny is we're talking about how pointless these petitions are, which honestly, making these stupid ass petitions really undermines the idea of a petition, which is supposed to circle all the way back to the First Amendment rights, freedom of expression and protest and speech. Mm-hmm. You're undermining all that with this dumbass fucking petitions, but we're the dumbasses talking about the fucking dumbass petitions. So who's really wasted more of their time?
You know what? We just needed a topic to talk about a podcast because we gotta put one out every week.
I'm so fucking frustrated by this
what are we
shit.
gonna talk? What are we going to talk about today? It's like, you know what? I'm fucking hate petitions. Let's fucking talk about petitions.
I hate the toxic fandom, and then, that bleeds right into these stupid-ass petitions, and I'm just frustrated by it, dude. Like, I'm honestly to the point where I'm kind of ashamed to think that I'm a part of this community, because there's no part of me that goes, I demand this, I really want this, you better give it to me, and I'm going to get a bunch of people to back me on this. It's the same fucking idiots that were like, we're going to tank the Rotten Tomatoes audience score for Black Panther. We just did it with The Last Jedi. Get a fucking life, dude. Seriously. I mean, what the fuck? Really, these are things for our, this is entertainment for our consumption. If you don't want to see it, don't fucking see it, okay? You got President Trump in the fucking White House, and you're worried about The Last Jedi. That's what you want to concentrate your fucking efforts on?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the one thing that really baffles me about.
Start a petition to get that motherfucker impeached.
These petitions and these people going on and complaining about shit, about Joss Whedon and shit. That's the thing that pisses me off. It's like, in this society, we have so many more problems.
This is the most first world problem I've ever fucking heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is almost right there was complaining because your caramel macchiato at Starbucks didn't have soy.
Yeah, this is like suing McDonald's for making you fat. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's that same fucking bullshit mentality.
Yeah. There's actual problems out there. There's people starving. There's people dying. There's people killing other people for no reasons.
Yeah.
There's still racist, bigoted, misogynistic, sexist motherfuckers out there roaming the fucking street. Rapists.
There's so many.
And we're not just talking about Warner Brothers.
Yeah, we're not talking about you DC fans who Warner Brothers is just continuously just bending over a barrel.
There's actual problems.
Yeah, and this is the kind of shit that your stupid, entitled, spoiled brat, never been told no fucking mentality wants to waste its.
This is all you motherfuckers out there who got the fucking participation trophy in fucking soccer, even though you fucking lost the game.
Yeah. I just can't deal with it, dude. Like, I want to denounce my membership from this fucking community and go, look, I'm not. And here's the thing. I can't say that this is all fans, because this is obviously a small minority who these clickbait fucking media outlets like to drum up more clicks out of making a story out of it. If we were to just shut these motherfuckers down by just never addressing it, no one would know about it. I would never know about these petitions if people didn't, all these different, quote unquote news outlets decided to just publish article after article about it.
Yeah.
Why don't we just not give them any fucking attention? Because this is objectively stupid. Right? There's no world that I can think of that would go, you know what? No, it is absolutely imperative we shut down Rotten Tomatoes.
It's funny. Just what you're saying is kind of hypocritical because we are technically being a news outlet and we're technically talking about this shit. No, we're feeding the fucking monster.
We're not a news outlet. We're trying to undercut this whole stupid idea.
We're just
be the change you want to see in the world. Okay. I think Chris Farley said that, and I'm gonna live by his words.
No, this is actually just to make sure that Jake doesn't commit suicide.
It might be, or go on a shooting spree. Just kidding.
Yeah. Too soon.
Yeah, probably.
But this is like this is just for his. This is a treatment for him.
What I want to do is I want to suss out all these people, right? And I'm gonna start a Zack Snyder cult. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out to fucking Boise, Idaho, or buttfuck
Don't
wherever.
say anything that you're gonna regret.
And I'm gonna start this Zack Snyder cult, right? And then I'm also gonna join it with the I Hate Ryan Johnson cult. I'm going to get all these people together, and for weeks, I'm just going to groom them into hating all this shit and following me. And then I'm going to do exactly what they fucking did, is give them the Kool-Aid, kill them all off, walk away, and be like, my job is done.
Okay, so you guys heard it here on Comic Relief After Hours. Jacob Fudge is going to be the next Jim Jones.
That's him, Jim Jones. I couldn't think of his name. Yep. That's why I didn't.
You know that Jim Jones actually graduated from Richmond High School, which we film out of is Richmond, Indiana.
Just to be clear, I didn't go to Richmond High School.
I did.
Which is probably why you know so much about him.
I do. He actually lived in Lynn.
Oh, well.
But he was born at Reed Hospital.
I'm glad to know Richmond is famous for something.
Hey, did you know that Michael C. Hall actually went to Earlham College?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, okay.
We made pianos.
All right, so let's move on here before I just absolutely lose my shit.
Which you haven't?
Not entirely yet. I mean, as you can see, my brains are not completely pouring out of my fucking ears like oatmeal. So I'm still somewhat together. All right.
You know what else I hate? Dinosaur eggs and oatmeal.
What the fuck? Okay.
Dinosaur eggs don't belong in oatmeal.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. All right. So some of the other news that's been hitting is we got the Aquaman early reactions. Obviously, they're overwhelmingly positive. Shocker. We got the same news about Batman v Superman. We got the same news about Suicide Squad. We got a standing ovation, apparently, for Justice League. So, how do you feel about Aquaman having early positive reactions to the early screenings, which I'm guessing the CGI is not even done in, so I don't know how much water this holds.
I don't know. The only thing I like is, it doesn't mean shit to me, to be honest. The only thing that really kind of pokes out to me is they did address the same thing that Dallas was talking about in our Fantasy Movie League draft picks episode.
Which you can find linked below.
Yep. And that we were really hoping with James Wan that we would get more of a haunting, scary kind of feel, and that it would involve the trench. And they did mention that the trench is a thing.
Did they? I didn't
they
see
mentioned
that.
something about them kind of doing trench, and there's a lot of like creatures, like plans for creatures and stuff.
Yeah.
So it looks like they are going that route that Dallas was hoping to go down. And it kind of like if it happens, I'll cross my fingers, but DC doesn't have a good track record. So
no. This is a movie I've talked about ad nauseum at this point. I want it to fail. I kind of feel bad saying that, but I do want it to fail.
No, you want it to fail because you just want them to do a new read.
I just want
a fresh start.
Exactly. I just want a new.
If this
DC
does good,
universe.
then they're gonna fucking keep going with where they're going.
That's the unfortunate reality, and it
DC
seems like no
fanboys
matter
they're just jerking off and rubbing
Yeah.
their nipples. They're like, oh yes, do good, Aquaman.
They're probably more jerking off right now at the fact that I'm not going to get what I want. So, but I'll sign a petition. But
you won't sign mine for the lewd sex acts.
But yeah, I can't take these as anything more than some good publicity for Aquaman. Granted, there have been no real there's been no strife among the behind the scenes information.
No.
That we haven't had any of those
They mentioned
reports,
something.
but-
Yeah, the only thing we have so far is the picture.
Yeah.
They did also mention, I don't know if you read, they're not doing the whole talk bubble shit that they did in the.
I saw
Justice
James
League
Wan
movie.
tweet that out. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not doing that shit. They're gonna actually be talking underwater.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean,
yeah. And he actually talks to fish. That's another thing that they mentioned. He
that'd be
will
great.
Talk to fish.
I'm sure he won't verbally talk to fish, but we know that he's like aqua kinetic or aqua.
No, I would like to see Jason Momoa yell at a goldfish, be like, "Motherfucker, get away from me!" And then the goldfish is like, "Fuck you!
You see this trident? You think this is just a toy?
You think this is a fucking toy?
Come here!" No,
I don't just use this to eat my steaks with.
my fish steaks.
My fish steaks.
But
Surf and turf.
I don't know. To me, this isn't really news, but I'm sure people are out there talking about it. I'm sure.
And then they also mentioned that he's going to be rocking a suit that's.
Yeah, they released a
somewhat-
picture of it,
Yeah.
and it honestly doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I've got some people that are like, dude, what are you talking about? It's great. It looks awesome. I'm like, it's just not my style. You know.
Yeah, I know. I can't see you wearing it.
Well, I just don't like it.
It wouldn't help with your eyes.
It still has very much the Snyder aesthetic. You know what I mean? It's very dark. The colors are very muted. It's just, and plus it's armor. It's like straight up armor. And it just doesn't do anything for me. So, you know, whatever. Aquaman's coming. We'll see it in December. Whatever. Any other thoughts?
But Jason Momoa, though.
Okay. And then the next thing that we can talk about is more DC.
You sound so fucking thrilled.
You know, I love their comic books. I love their characters.
Oh my god, their fucking comic books are killing it.
I just don't like the fucking movies. But anyway, actually this might be a bright spot, which is something I've been talking about for a while.
What?
Shazam. Okay,
yeah, bright. Literally bright.
Literally, yeah, well, yeah, but again.
Literally bright.
So, anyways, anybody who has, I don't know, had a media blackout for the past 24 hours, they released, you know, behind-the-scenes pictures, and of course they're not official. They've come out and said these are not official. Apparently some kind of extra took out their phone, snapped these pictures of Zach Levi in the Captain Marvel costume. We don't get to see a whole lot. It's mostly a picture from behind with a little bit of a profile to it. He's got the jet black hair. He's got the really red costume.
Very red.
He's got the white cape, which is a mix between...
And pillow stuck in the arm, so he looks like he has muscles.
Oh, come on. They did it to Henry Cavill's suit, too, and
oh, they do it to all of
Batman's.
them, but
I mean,
his just looks...
Yeah.
It looks placed.
Well,
but, you know, it doesn't really matter because this is like... This is
it's taken on like a camera phone. I mean, if you zoom in, it's really blurry. It's really grainy looking when you zoom in. So
you don't have to defend it. It doesn't matter because this is just a picture that's taken behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Like, you gotta wait until they put the CG
But anyway, so the cape is a blend.
You gotta wait until they remove the mustache.
It's a blend of the New 52 look because it's got a hood, but it also has a very classic look to the cape.
I did notice that. Like the cape looks classic. It looks a little bit shorter than like a normal normal
it's
Batman.
Not like a Superman
cape.
Batman cape. Yeah.
It's shorter, but it has the hood like the longer cape that he has.
And it's got
now.
the layers. Like the original Captain Marvel kind of has like a long, almost collar look to it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's got that. The boots I think look fine. I like the boots.
My only problem with it is he looks like the color schemes. And granted, it's like I said. You gotta wait until it's actually. This is just behind the scenes.
Right.
You know they're gonna edit the shit out of it, but it looks somewhat like a Turbo Man suit from Jingle All the Way. Like the color schemes, that bright red and then that dark gold.
People have already made those comparisons. It's inevitable.
Turbo Man.
It's inevitable that's gonna happen. But a thing that I thought was cool was there were people online talking about how the chest had like this weird look to it, like it was going to be CGI'd later.
Oh, nice.
So he doesn't have just the standard flat kind of lightning bolt look there. What I think they're going to do is they're going to incorporate the New 52 look where it's got that kind of like energy flow through it, which might be kind of neat looking. I think visually it'll look cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's we got our first look at Shazam. Cool for me. I mean, I am hoping that Shazam ends up being like a low-key DC reboot and they're just not marketing it that way yet. That this would be the property to do it. Aquaman is a farewell to the past. DC Universe started off with Shazam, a character mass audiences don't have a lot of attachment to, don't know.
Don't care about.
Really don't care. I mean, really, it is your Iron Man. It has very possible that this can be your Iron Man 1 launching platform, right? Nobody knew Iron Man pre-2008 other than us comic fans, but
to be honest, like I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Like people go, Iron Man was like a huge thing, and it's like he was a pillar of the Avengers. But if you ever like think about it, like back before then, before the Iron Man movies came out,
he was never in the conversation of Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. You know, what I mean?
No, he was just he was just a guy who financed the team. He was smart. He had the tech,
but people. I mean, if they knew that much, that means they knew more than your general audience member. You know,
I mean, he just wasn't like the big, the main big star that
right.
everybody sees
But now
nowadays.
look at him. Right, he's got you can go to Walmart anytime, buy an Iron Man mask, buy a couple of toy gauntlets. You can buy an action figure of Iron Man. You can buy his face on T-shirts, kids' pajamas, blankets. The dude's fucking everywhere now, right? You had that opportunity with Shazam. Start over with Shazam. Do it. I don't see the problem.
I just have a problem though. I don't know if I like Zachary Levi, as Shazam.
When's the last time you had a problem?
Shaq is always gonna be my Shazam.
Shaq was Steel.
He was Shazam.
No, he was Kazam or something.
Kazam.
Like a genie.
Oh man.
Wow, dude, you really fucked that one up.
I really did fuck that one up.
You bungled that hard. Okay.
I did. I'm just trying to throw you off your track.
Okay, well, obviously I'm sharp as a
As a tack? Throw you off your
yeah,
track?
You could say that. I'm sharp as a tack. No, but anyway,
Gonna
so
break your mama's back?
Shazam is the only real DC Universe movie that I'm excited for, but again, it's got one strike against it right now with me not having Black Adam in it. You've had The Rock cast as Black Adam since like 2014. What the fuck are you doing? This is the one time you bring in The Rock as Shazam, our Black Adam.
Dude, you really fucked that one up.
Yeah, I bungled it. But no, I mean, you've had this guy sitting on the sidelines for 4 years.
Right?
And he is a Captain Marvel villain. First and foremost, that is what he is. And you're making a Captain Marvel movie without the guy you've had cast for 4 years to be the villain? What the fuck?
It's like doing a Superman movie without General Zod.
It's like having General Zod cast before you're Superman and before you decided to make a Superman movie, then making the Superman movie and not using Zod. But he's still cast. He's still somewhere out in the background, cast as that character contractually. So
I really just don't give that much of a shit about Shazam.
I like Shazam. I dig him. Always have.
Yeah,
even if I've never really delved too much into who he is and his mythology and all that, I've always liked the character. When he showed up in Justice League Unlimited, I really dug him.
You gotta like the character, yeah, but it just to me, I just don't really give a shit.
Well, that's fine. I like the character. I want to see him done justice. I think this is the only movie you can do character that doesn't have to fit in with the Snyder version of everything, where everyone's sad and depressed and fucking never smiles and every day is cloudy.
This is gonna be a bright ass fucking movie.
This is gonna be a fun movie, and let's hope that they do it right. But anyway, let's move on to our last segment, which is what are we reading?
What are you reading?
So last Sunday, I had a toy show to go to, my very first one. It was at Wright State in Dayton. And I had Josh here cover the shop for me for his pull list free of charge if he watched the shop for me on Sunday. So he decided he was going to dive into
New Avengers
by
Brian Michael Bendis.
Tell me a little bit about it, because I read this series about 15 years ago and I loved it. But what did you think?
I can't put it fucking down, and it's so weird because if you are a constant listener of the show, you already know I fucking love Brian Michael Bendis. He is my
You're like
God.
Every person in 2012 with Joss Whedon, but on Brian Michael Bendis.
Yes, I was in the shop. I caught up on everything I needed to read. And I didn't know what else to fucking read, and I don't read Avengers. I just don't read I don't really like reading big team books. Justice League, Avengers, usually too much going on, and the writer's not really good at writing the voices for all the characters. And I'm like, I want to read something Bendis, and I saw it back there, and I was like, I want to read this. And I started reading.
How often and how many times have I told you to check that out?
You really never told me to check that out, because if you remember right, when you came back from the show, I told you I was reading that, and you were like, "Dude, you've never read that?"
Okay, well,
if you told me you've never read that,
how
I would
many
have
times
told
have you heard me
that.
talk about it though?
I don't know. You talk about it a lot.
Yeah, so I guess I was just surprised at the fact that you had never read it.
I don't like big, I never really. I read Avengers when they're the big storylines, like Secret War, Civil War, like the big, huge event of the year kind of thing. I read those, but for the most part, I've never, even when I was younger, I read X-Men when I was younger, and as I got older, I started realizing that you got to be careful with team issues, because the one thing that you got to believe is that everybody is a different kind of person.
Well, not only that, but you got to juggle all of their characters. You got to make sure that they all make sense for being in the story.
You got to understand why they're all there. You got to understand
they
what kind of personality
useless.
this person is. Yeah, what kind of personality they have, what kind of life they're going through, and a lot of writers just doesn't have that skills. And Brian Michael Bendis, I'm going to have to say his full name. That's how bad it is.
BMB?
Yeah. But Bendis, man, he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
And I can't put it down, man.
So he started off on the very first like big thick volume that actually starts with Avengers Disassembled and then goes all throughout Breakout with the raft and everything. And so tell the people at home, what do you think? What do you like about it?
Bendis knows how to write these characters. That's the biggest thing is they're all different. The way they interact with each other, you can hear different voices and different ways it's all being told. And it's just, the storytelling seems so original. Because it starts off with the Avengers having the worst fucking day.
Yeah, the Disassembled.
Yeah, people fucking die, man.
Oh yeah,
they fucking die.
This is the story that infamously killed Hawkeye, Scott Lang, Ant-Man, Vision.
Yeah, fucking She-Hulk going out, fucking rage and rips the fucking corpse of Vision, like, and then they disassemble and by just random fate. They, Captain America, Iron Man, and Spider-Man, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Spider-Woman, Sentry, they all just kind of like get together and try to stop all these villains from breaking out of this prison. Which
was a nice homage to the way the original Avengers started back when they fought Loki.
And then they talk about it, and it's just the way that these characters are talking to each other, and you can actually feel the relationship that they have. This is why, like, because writers can't do that. A lot of writers cannot convey that kind of stuff.
Right, and Bendis lends a unique voice to each of these characters. I mean, when you read Cap, you know you're reading Cap. When you read Matt Murdock, you know you're reading Daredevil.
Yeah.
When you read Spidey, of course, he always nails Spidey, but you know you're reading Spidey. It's just, everyone has a voice, and everyone has their own unique voice. And I was going to say that if you keep reading the series, you're going to find out why I love Cap and Tony so much, and I love their interactions, and why I think they're just great characters to have on screen together, and their friendship is just so strong. Like, I love the dynamic between the two of them, and Bendis does a great job of displaying the fact that these guys are so absolutely different people, but they're best friends. They really are.
In which, I've already gotten the feel of that because I have read enough of Avengers stuff to kind of get that feeling. But no, the way that it feels genuine. Like, it really does. Like, the scene...
just like every time they interact, you just know there's a history there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? There's a shorthand between the two of them.
My favorite thing, right? Okay, so one issue ends with the breakout. All right, and then it just ends. Ends with this like cliffhanger of Purple Man telling Luke Cage
to kill everybody.
Yeah. And then the next issue starts, and it starts with this beautiful sunset. They're on a helicarrier, and Iron Man is bringing Cap a sesame seed bagel because he knows that's what Cap likes. And Cap's like, cool, like he's pumped. And then they're talking. And it keeps going back to that night, but they wanting to talk about that night. And Cap is trying to talk to Tony about how it was a lot like the first homage of the Avengers originally getting together, and how he feels like it was fate. And them talking at the sunset on the helicarrier in the morning, and Tony sipping his coffee.
Sunrise.
Yeah, sunrise. Yeah, it was just like. This felt genuine. This felt like two actual friends.
Yeah, and reading Bendis' Avengers is actually why I almost prefer books now, where I get to read the interactions between the characters, and I love it so much more than the actual action and battle sequences in the comics, because when you get those interactions right, they are so much more entertaining to read than just these guys, brawling.
Yeah. So all I gotta say is, New Avengers, reading it. It's been out for years.
Yeah, a long time.
And then I decided to go ahead and it's so good. And I'm so glued onto it right now that I have to talk about it instead of talking about anything that came out last week. Not saying that stuff that came out last week, there was a lot of good stuff. We had the Infinity Countdown.
Yeah, that was a good issue.
It was a good issue. I'm pretty pumped
about it.
And
so was Doctor Strange Damnation #1. I really liked that issue.
And then Defenders. That was last week.
Yeah, that was last week.
Defenders. Man, that was a good issue too.
It was.
Another team written by Bendis.
But I will say New Avengers is really Bendis at just the height of his powers,
Yeah.
man. Like that's prime Bendis era right there.
It's beautiful. So do you have anything that you've been reading that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, this week, actually, the two issues that probably stand out most in my mind, surprisingly enough, I think the read I had the best time with was actually Go-Go Power Rangers #7. It's an odd choice. I know I didn't expect it
You always
either,
have the
but
weird choices.
but I just didn't expect this issue. And this is a week where Invincible Iron Man came out,
Yeah.
and
Bendis.
Bendis with Doctor Doom. This is a week that Moon Knight came out, and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps came out. And for some reason, I just found myself very gravitated towards Go-Go Power Rangers. It's just a really good issue. And again, it's one of those comic books that is it's a lot more light on the action and a lot heavier on just the interpersonal relationships between the team. Mm-hmm. And this was an issue where actually Bulk, like Bulk and Skull,
Mm-hmm.
this was an issue where I felt for the guy. I was like, holy shit, like I actually care about what he does and why he's doing it. And it shows there's like some integrity to this character. And then they've been building up a plot line that pays off in this issue. But they're all going to homecoming. They're all going to their homecoming dance in high school, and just them gearing up for it and getting excited about it, who they're going to take as dates. Like, that stuff was just so much more interesting to me.
Is it weird that when we're getting older, that's the kind of stuff that really pertains to us? Because, like, when I was a kid and I was reading books, it was all about the fight scenes.
It was,
and then the colors and the fights and everything.
Yeah.
And now it's like, man, they're going to homecoming. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's like the girl that Zach takes to homecoming, the Black Ranger, who he's taking, who Kimberly's taking, her and Trini getting ready together, Billy and what he's been going through, and then why he's going to homecoming. Jason's going stag. It's just like the Red Ranger, the guy that you would assume has got like the hot date. Like, no, he's the one guy without a date. And I don't know, it's just a really good issue. And the other issue that actually stands out in my mind is an issue that came out, I want to say 2 weeks ago, actually. But I just got more printings in this week because I wasn't able to read it then, which was Sideways.
Oh, Sideways.
Yeah. Sideways is one of the new DC heroes that has sprung out of Metal.
If you guys don't know what Sideways is, he's pretty much a teleporting Spider-Man ripoff.
I was going to go into that, but Sideways... This and the Terrifics are probably the most directly linked to the god-awful
Do not say
Metal
anything about
series.
Terrifics. I got to read that tonight.
I'm not going to say anything about Terrifics. But they're probably the two most connected spin-offs so far that had the most to do with Metal. Mm-hmm. One thing I will say is the fact that Metal isn't over, but these new spin-offs are acting like it's already over. I don't like this. I don't like this tactic. I don't like that you've built up this event, which up to this point to me has been a fucking dud.
Boom.
But then you're releasing stuff that's supposed to be spinning out at the end of it. You're acting like it's already over. I haven't read the last issue of this shit.
They do that a lot.
This is in Metal has been the biggest bust as far as a storytelling endeavor of any event that I can remember in a long fucking time. This is just plain bad. It's not good. Maybe one day when they release the hardcover of everything in it and I can read it all back to back to back, maybe it'll make more sense. But
in chronological order, the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, because the way Hawkman Found came out, 9 months after the fucking Forge? I don't know how to connect those two in my fucking head. I've read hundreds of comics since then. I
can't. It's like a little bit all over the place.
It is, and my faith in Snyder, to say the least, has been shook.
So what we're saying is, what this whole podcast is all about is about Jacob just hating anybody with the last name Snyder.
Yeah, you'd think that. But anyway, Sideways. Sideways is actually, I know everyone wants to say it's a teleporting version of Spider-Man, and it's a ripoff. It's actually not. It feels very much like its own thing. Yeah. It feels like it's a very original character. I see the Spider-Man
esque.
I see the comparisons because the costume. It's got the big eyes. There's no cape. Skin tight. It's like a onesie jumpsuit.
And he has the same kind of body type too.
Well, he's a teenager, and that to me is where the similarities end. Because this guy, it springs out of metal, right? And so how he gets his powers all has to do with the way he's going with metal. and he's adopted, which I guess you can kind of say is similar to Spider-Man being taken in by his aunt and uncle, but he's just dealing with high school, and he's trying to. I guess I can start to see a few more similarities now that I talk about it with Spider-Man, but it doesn't feel like I don't feel like I'm reading.
It doesn't get the same feel as Peter Parker.
But it's an interesting. It's an interesting little book, and the way it ended definitely has me intrigued. But the thing is, he doesn't just teleport the way that Nightcrawler does. He actually has to draw a rift, in the air, which is kind of weird when I think if this guy's falling, he can't just whoosh real quick. Like he has to be still more or less to do it. So I think that's kind of an interesting little twist on the idea of teleportation.
Yeah.
But
so
those are the two issues from this week that I've read that stood out to me the most.
Yeah. Did you about Amazing Spider-Man though?
That wasn't new this week.
No, last week.
Oh, last week.
Amazing Spider-Man was new last week.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good issue. Actually, I think ever since the shutdown of Parker Industries and
it's
Peter
getting back
kind
to
of
a good start.
it's going back to its roots.
Yeah.
I like it. I always look forward to that read.
Now, you did read, we're going to go a little off of the major publishers.
Sure.
Okay, because I would like to know your personal opinion on a book called Punk's Not Dead. Mm-hmm. I know you read that.
I did.
So, because I think we pay a lot of tribute to the big two.
Marvel and DC.
I think it would be nice if we branch off to some of the smaller ones.
So, Punk's Not Dead. Did you read it yet? I know you bought it.
I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
So, that's why I kind of want to hear what your opinion is. I usually like your opinion.
I know. Okay, so Punk's Not Dead. It's an interesting story. One thing I did like about it is this does not feel like one of those issues you breeze through in 3-4 minutes. You know, you actually do need to sit with it for a while and read it. But it's interesting. It's this idea, and it's not also not it's not linear in its storytelling. It starts off about middle of the story, and then it kind of backtracks, which can be a hit or miss. For this one, it worked for me. But it's this kid who basically befriends a ghost at an airport, and this guy's been dead since like the 80s, and I actually can't really tell if this is set in modern times or not. But he's lost his dad. He's going on these like talk shows, these like phony like Jerry Springer type talk shows with his mom just to get money and shit. I'm like, that's kind of cool. And the guy who died, the ghost, is like this punk rocker who's been trapped in this airport for like 20 years, and no one can see him until this kid comes along and can see him. And then there's also this like weird shady organization that's like hunts down the paranormal. So you can tell that at some point these two factions, this kid and the ghost, and then this like company, they're gonna cross paths, and then so you can kind of start to see where the story's going, but it's got a lot of I think it's supposed to be a British story. Mm-hmm. From what I can tell, I think you're supposed to read everything with a British accent kind of in your head, and it all takes place somewhere in England. Which of course makes sense when you think of like the Sex Pistols and Ramones, right? That's all
Birth of Punk,
right?
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of neat. I can kind of see where the story's going, but at the same time, it's got a lot of more adult humor to it. So it's an enjoyable read because you can't always anticipate the punchy dialogue.
Now, so out of 5 fudge bars.
Out of 5 fudge bars, what would
I give it? Out of 5 fudge bars, what would you give it?
I'll give us all 3 fudge bars.
No, that's a good amount of fudge bars.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that we're probably getting close to having to end this, right?
It's getting a little long here, so we'll probably end it soon. The other issue I did want to talk about, actually, is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan.
Oh, yeah? Was it good?
Yeah. Issue 49 came out today, and I just love this series.
I need to start reading it, but you fucking sold volume 1.
I think I sold 5 or 6 copies. I've got another one on order.
How the fuck am I supposed to read it if you don't have it?
You son of a bitch. I got another one on order.
Oh, right, on order.
I got another one on order. But no, this is one of those series a lot like Invincible, which I don't think we got to talk about. I can't remember, but like 2 weeks ago, the last one, issue 144 of Invincible came out, and just want to say a farewell to that series. I'm gonna miss it. I loved it.
I know you are.
And unfortunately, I felt like it tied up really quickly. But I also think that this franchise may not be called Invincible, but going forward, I think there are going to be some other titles.
Well, they're definitely going to have some spin-offs.
Yeah.
I know they're going to.
And they already do, which I already ordered.
Yeah,
there's
older,
like Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah, Guardians of the Globe, and then there's like one...
there's the Beast. He's got his own
and I think there's
Adam
Eve. a couple issues
might
of
be.
a mini series of Adam Eve.
And honestly, Adam Eve to me is one of the sexiest women in all of
I
comics.
think you say that almost every single podcast.
She really is. But anyway.
But yeah, go back to Saga.
So Saga, again, it's like Invincible. It's one continuous story. It isn't just like arc 1, arc 2. Here's the bad for this arc. It's just a story of two. It's a Romeo and Juliet type story. Very fantastical, very adult.
Yeah.
And it's basically a family on the run from the people that want to kill them because these two species should not have bred, and now their child is a mixed breed kind of thing. But, you're dealing with, like, fairies and ghosts and people with, TVs for faces and heads, and they got ram horns and shit. It's really, really well thought out mythology to it all. But this issue, it was really good. I mean, the villains aren't really the villains anymore. The heroes aren't really the heroes anymore. Everything's kind of been turned on its head. And I just want to give a shout out to it. It's about to hit its issue 50. That's a hell of a run for an independent series.
Oh yeah.
So I think more people should be reading this. I was actually excited at the toy show to see Saga action figures that are being made. So I'm like, that's pretty neat. But one of my characters I hated the most when I first started reading this has actually become one of my favorite characters. And the choice he's faced with, and the way they end this issue was just so fucking good. So, if you're a fan of Saga, get issue 49.
My plan is to start reading that. I have people who don't even read comic books that are friends of mine, and they're sitting there going, Josh, you should read Saga. And I'm like, how the fuck do you even know Saga?
It's so weird.
Like,
Saga,
it's like you don't even read or even care about comic books, and you're sitting here telling me to read Saga, and I still haven't fucking read it.
Saga is one of those really interesting titles because it's hit a really niche market, but that market
like breastfeeding babies on the cover.
Well, not only that, but it's hit this niche market where it appeals to a very certain demographic, and that demographic spans all sorts of interests, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like your chick wears I'm being very broad and maybe very stereotypical here, but it's like the chick that wears the jean jacket with all the different buttons that can range from anything from like fuck Trump to a fucking happy face that means fucking nothing on top of a torn up Ramones shirt with a fucking beanie,
chicks.
like 6 piercings in one ear.
It's
none
so
in
funny
the
that you're
zero,
saying this
other,
because I want to sit here and go like, motherfucker, you're being stereotypical. Like, I want to sit
But
here and say
it
this to you.
hit that
So all the
market
friends
so
that I'm
well.
talking about
Yeah.
that said this is all girls that you just described.
Right, and I'm
Like,
talking
what's the bad-
but also like the ones that are gonna wear the hemp sandals and go to the next like local grunge scene while also sipping fucking coffee. You know
listen
what
to
I
the
mean?
local grunge scene, sip coffee, and then when they want to settle down, they listen to Tegan and Sarah.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
It's found that.
So what you're
market.
saying is me.
You'll really enjoy this series,
Okay,
and
so
it's
yeah.
not, and it's just I know you and your sensibilities and your tastes.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this series when you get a chance to read it.
Yeah, I'll have to
Plus,
check it out.
again, it's got cussing, it's got sex, it shows fucking dicks, vaginas, asses, tits. So it's like,
Speaking of dicks.
yeah, I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh man, speaking of dicks, I'm going to transition and interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys didn't notice, I know probably some of you guys were kind of upset. We did not do a podcast last week.
Well, we did.
Oh, we did?
We released the Black Panther Part 2 on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, we released it on Tuesday. That's
Yeah.
correct. Okay. Well, actually, I forgot we released that on Tuesday. It's been a long
We
fucking week for me.
usually record Wednesdays,
Yeah.
release Thursdays. No, believe me, it feels like that was an eternity.
Yeah,
ago.
it does. It feels like it was forever ago.
Yeah.
But I wasn't here Wednesday. I'm normally here with you every Wednesday.
Oh, yeah,
I
this
wasn't
past
here.
Wednesday, yeah.
And I was up in Indianapolis, and I cheated on you
I know.
with another shop. And I read a book that you didn't get. A book from Image called Deadbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that book was actually pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it.
You want me to borrow it? I'm still waiting
I
for this to
didn't-
circle back around.
I
to
read
dicks.
it. I didn't buy it. Like, I don't.
So you're telling me that you
I'll
stole.
fuck them.
You stole.
I'll make love to you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So how does this pertain to dicks?
because this book is about a girl, kind of like the girl you just described.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork and the coloring in it is really interesting. But she is a writer, and she's just gets hired to do all this stupid stuff, and she gets hired to do ghostwriting for an autobiography for this guy who's some kind of adventurer. All right, and you don't know too much about what's going on, but there's like a lot of supernatural ghost shit that goes on in this. And she goes there, and he's supposed to be on his deathbed. So
He just has a giant erect fucking dick when she
close. No, so she's up there and she's talking to him. She goes, "I don't know anything about you. I don't know why you want me to write this. What do you want me to write?" There's pictures all over throughout the house where apparently he is this massive adventurer throughout the whole years. And as this is going, you just get these creepy panels where each panel, it goes from clear to like where you get these like weird creature, like ghost demon things coming towards closer to the bed. And he's talking about how he's on the brink of death and everything. He's all hooked up to IVs. He's doing hospice and everything. And out of nowhere, after all these creatures get like come closer, he fucking jumps out of the fucking bed. Dude is shredded and just dick out for like 5 to 6 pages the whole time. His dick is just out flapping. He's fucking killing these creatures.
Manhattan.
Pretty much. But I would give this 3 fudge bars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing where this is
So
going to
should
go.
I order you a copy so you can buy it?
Yes.
Okay.
Honestly, that's partly the reason why I brought it up here, because I want this to be like a audio proof that I'm asking you to order it so I can buy it, because I purposely did not buy it from that shop.
Aw, look at you.
So I could get it from you.
You get your appetite at the store, but come home to eat.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like porn, you know. I watched that was my Viagra pill. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be with you for 4 hours tonight.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else you want to say to the 3 people who decided to tough this one out?
Yeah. No, I do want to give a shout out to Kevin Smith.
Oh,
I hope
yeah.
that everything's going. I hope that everything goes better for him. He just had a severe heart attack.
Yeah, dude said he could have died had he done that second show. Best wishes go out to K. Smith.
Yeah.
I still love almost all of his movies, and
100% blockage. Did you hear that?
yeah, I did. That's
100% blockage.
You know, and I know he's been losing weight and trying to be better about it, but I guess I don't know, man.
Sometimes you just can't fight. You could do whatever you can. You can't stop some stuff.
Well, yeah, I think he said his dad also passed away of a heart attack, so it's
Yeah.
partly genetic, I'm sure.
It's definitely genetic.
But yeah, best wishes go out to Kevin Smith for sure. Dudes, I mean, if you're a comic book fan like we are, you know Kevin Smith. You know about him, and you know he's just one of us who just made it big. So
Yeah, well, I mean, the dude made a great movie by selling his comic book collection, which is like, to us would be like
blasphemous, dude.
Blasphemous, yeah. And then takes all that money after he makes it all big and opens up his own comic book shop. And
Which someday I do want to start shooting some stuff here. Hopefully more on that later when me and you talk about it off air. But
yeah.
Guys, I think that might be all we've got for you today. We got a lot of hate tirades that we went on. As you can tell, I feel a little tired now. Maybe a little catharsis happened while I spewed all that hate.
It looks like you're going to be able to sleep easy tonight.
I'm going to. I'm going to go home to a girlfriend with strep throat and neglect her for bed.
Strep her throat?
No, I'm just going to neglect her and go to sleep. I'm tired. God. But anyways, guys, thanks for listening so much. If you like this, go ahead and hit that like button. Share it if you feel like other people need to hear it. If you know anybody who signed these god-awful petitions, share this with them. Let them know how stupid they're being. Comment below. Let us know what your thoughts are on these petitions. Thoughts on Aquaman, Shazam, or Joss Whedon even. Just know we'll attack you.
Support your local comic book shop.
Yeah, and guys, go out there. Don't try your best not to download digital comics. Go into a local comic shop, buy the physical copies, and support this business. We don't want to see this shit go digital all the way.
Scratch that. You can do digital, but also, pay tribute to the pieces of art. Like, I mean, come out here and buy the physical copies as well.
If you're like me, just collect. I'm a collector. I like to have the physical media in hand. I like to collect.
It's art, man.
It
Hang
is.
that shit up on a wall.
Okay, you ever heard of art collectors?
You ever heard of my dick?
All right, guys, that's all we have for you. Thank you so much.